These exercise machines don't have the typical stack of weights. Instead, the handles you pull are connected by a rope and pulley system to a pneumatic cylinder, which creates resistance. Many of the machine's parts are cut out of sheet steel using a computer-guided laser. The complex cuts are accurate to within 100 microns, roughly the thickness of a sheet of paper. The parts then go into a vibrating tumbler filled with ceramic stones and water. The stones rub against the parts, removing scale, a flaky substance produced on the surface of the steel by heat and oxygen. Next, the parts for the trainer's power module are clamped to a welding fixture. The fixture is on a robotic cell. The cell rotates, delivering the parts to a robot, which then welds them together. Welding the power module takes 14 minutes. When the robot completes the welding, the cell returns the fixture so that it can be inspected before being moved to the finishing area. Here, the welds are ground flat. Then using a finer grinding disc, smoothed out so that they won't show once the steel is painted. After washing the module in iron phosphate, a positive electrical charge is applied to the module and a negative one to the powder paint. The opposite charges attract, drawing paint particles onto the surface to give an even coat. The paint is then baked onto the steel in an oven. Elsewhere in the factory, a 30cm deep hole is drilled into a cylinder rod. The rod is steel, but the piston on its end is aluminium. The cylinder rod is then inserted into the cylinder housing, also made of aluminium. Then a sensor rod is inserted into the cylinder rod's hole. This sensor relays the cylinder's position to the machine's computer. Snap rings hold the parts together. After the paint job has been inspected, the trainer is ready to be assembled. First, decals are applied to the wetted surface. Once the decals are partially dry, the transfer tape is removed and the decals are inspected for any bubbles or gaps. Next to be installed is the computer, which calculates the power produced with each pull on the handles. After which is the accumulator tank, which stores the air for the return stroke of the handles. Installed next is the cylinder. The bottom is fitted to a central pulley that connects to both of the handles. The top connects to the accumulator tank via an air hose. The amount of force is determined by how much air pressure you let in by pushing the yellow resistance control buttons. The buttons are attached to air hoses and wired to the computer. An 8-meter length of rope is then passed through the central pulley and through the machine's 12 additional pulleys. The configuration is designed to enable a wide range of exercises. After closing up the power module with a cover panel and installing the 2 height-adjustable arms, a swiveling pulley is fitted onto each arm, and at the end of each rope, a clevis is tied on. The clevis holds a range of other attachments. Once assembly is complete, the machine is checked for any defects. A resistance level is set, then the handle is pulled on to make sure the cylinder sensor is reading correctly. Pulling a handle pushes the rod into the cylinder, forcing the piston against the incoming air pressure supplied by a compressor, and hopefully making you fitter.